Hey guys, what's going on? It's Novameister here, coming at you with episode 2 of Judgement, the series where I take a bunch of preconceptions, assumptions, and opinions about the up-and-coming game Gears of War Judgment and make a commentary out of it. So, today's topic is going to be the weapons. Now, this is such a huge part of whether this game is going to be a big success or a big flop. Now, they are taking so many experimental ideas. They're really pushing the boundaries, it looks like, with Judgment. Really trying to change things up a bit, spice things up a bit. And I'd love to say their motivations were to make simply a better, more skillful game. But I think the main intentions behind it is to cater for a wider audience. Audience that is based mainly towards a wide range of FPS shooters, the Call of Duty and Halo fanboys maybe. Try to cater for a wider audience rather than keeping loyal to the fundamental base weapon styles of Gears of War and trying to please the community that's already here, which is a bit sad to see because they did that with Gears 3 a bit with the sword off and retro, and you'd think they'd learn from their mistake, because it would be alright if Judgment managed to pull this off and make the community bigger, and I would be the most happiest out of everyone, I think, when, well, Cliffy B would be a lot happier, I guess, and a few people that earn the money off it, but I would be massively passionate about it if this widened the community and more people got involved. But judging by the previous track record and Gears 3 implementing sword-offs and retros, we didn't actually grow too much as a community. We didn't attract new people. We didn't cater for the more unskilled people that don't like big learning curves. In fact, they came in for a while, annoyed us, left. There's still remnants of people annoying us now with sword-offs and retros, and it just basically alienated the community we already had. So I don't want to see that happen again. I'm hoping they do. But that is what I think their motivations are mainly, is trying to sell games to the wider audience rather than keep the people that are already in the community buying the games. Now, to back that up, I have to mention the fact, I don't like mentioning it because so many people talk about it, but the sword-off is coming back. I saw it in the kill feed, even though I'm pretty sure Cliffy B said it weren't going to be there this time. I think the quote was, "Stopping power and sword-offs and stuff. Yeah, I know my mistakes." Even though he goes on about how he's the greatest human alive and he makes magic, quotation marks. He said that he made a couple of mistakes. The only mistakes I've made in my life, I'll rectify them and get a judgment. But it seems to me that the sword-off's there. Pretty sure I saw the retro in the gondola gameplay and it looked pretty fucking powerful, to be honest. And also, well, yeah, that pretty much says it really. He's a bit of a lying cunt, and that sucks. I'm not going to go on about how much I hate the sword off. Everyone knows it. Retro for me is so horrible. I don't even mind the sword off as much as the retro. Retro for me is disgusting, and if they're going to actually make it stronger, and I think the crosshair was slightly smaller, so hopefully they've actually weakened it, but it looks powerful as fuck in the gameplay, and that's going to really suck. But one thing they have done is taken stop and power out. Massively excited about that. Really loved the fact when Gears of War 3 playlist came out, the old school playlist. I really loved the whole dynamics of playing Gears on a good server like Gears of War 3, well, a better server than Gears 2 and that anyway. And doing it without stopping power, a lot more shotgun battles, a lot more Nasher gameplay. And when it comes to weapons in Gears of War, I really do think everything should be centered around the Nasher being the primary, most used weapon, because if it turns into Lancer gameplay, which it has the definite, likelihood that it will turn into that in Judgment if they weren't to put stopping power in, and they keep putting retros in, then it means it's going to slow down gameplay. It's not going to be as fun for the people that have played Gears for 5 years and are used to the Gal 1 shotgunning. And I think it's really interesting because as a community, we all seem to be behind Nashers, but because Cliffy B's vision of making Gears when it first started was that the Lancer was always going to be the dominant weapon, it seems to me that he's always trying to recompensate, well, how do I put it? He's always trying to go back to his vision and try and make the Lancer a bigger force than the Nasher, and I think he's got to realise that he's no longer pursuing his vision when he's making games anymore. He's more pursuing the fact that it's our game now. We want to buy it because there's shotguns in it. That's what we buy the game for. And he shouldn't really be alienating us by thinking of new ideas and stuff. But the fact that Stopping Power is going is fantastic for me. I thought the general consensus was that people didn't like Stopping Power. However, after the old school playlist, there was a lot of people saying that they did like Stopping Power. And I always thought that was a bit weird at first. I was like, what the fuck? But at the same time, I kind of empathise where they're coming from, because at the same time, I think they did make the Lancer a little bit stronger. And if they do that to compensate for the fact that there is no Stopping Power in Gears Judgment, that's going to be fucking annoying. But if it's just a choice between Stopping Power and no Stopping Power, then I'll take no Stopping Power. No mistake. Sorry if you guys don't think that, but I've never been a fan. Slows down gameplay, not like the old school gameplay at all. Also, the fact that you can run while shooting. Don't like that idea. It does, I guess, speed up gameplay, but it doesn't feel Gears-like, and the whole idea of wall bouncing and, you know, the strafing, things like that, it's going to be a bit weird with running. Maybe it'll be good. It'll be nice to see that implemented, but it seems to me like it's going towards that Call of Duty zone. It's going towards that Halo zone. Not Halo zone, but Call of Duty zone, and the whole less of a Gears-specified experience. Now, another thing that I need to mention in this is the crosshairs. Now, the crosshairs that aims the reticules that you get up when you hold LT on Gears 3, it looks like they're going to implement them into Gears Judgment as something that's going to constantly be on your screen, such as, you know, when people put blue tack on their screen on GAL 1, it's going to be like that. You're always going to see it when you're running, you're always going to see it when you're looking at someone. Now, that to me is not good. I don't like the idea of that. I don't mind it with some weapons, including the sniper, which may surprise some people, but when it comes to things like a Nasher, can I imagine myself walking around constantly seeing the Nasher thing? No, I don't like that idea. The reason why I say I like the sniper with that in is because it is more skillful for montages in my opinion. I think a lot of the montages that we see today are, well, include too much of a luck level compared to a skill level. I always find Gears a skillful game when it comes to montages compared to other games, but at the same time I do see the blind fire inside of it being a lot luck based, and if they change that, I think it will make it fairer. I think people will deserve their clips more. I mean, there is ways to set it up now. I'm not taking away, not by setting up, I don't mean micro. Don't start fucking witch hunt on me. I don't mean the micro style setting up. I mean, there is a way to set up situations where you blind fire and get a clip, getting an on-screen dub, then blind firing. That is skillful, but this reticule thing will make it more skillful. However, they then decide to put 4 bullets in it, like 1 shot, 1 kill. I'm a fan of 1 shot, 1 kill snipers, don't get me wrong, but don't make it the staple sniper in a Gears of War game. It will alienate the community. Is what they're doing is alienating the Gears community through doing that, I think. And it'll be interesting to see how people react. I think put it in, make the gun that they made that we've seen in the trailers, but then put the normal sniper alongside it. I hope they do that. It'll be a win-win situation for everyone. So I hope they do that. That'll be really good. I think that's pretty much all I have to say. Snipers, yeah, blah blah. Also the grenades, the fact that you can't switch between the grenades. I don't like that because you're not going to be able to see people coming at you with grenades, which makes it unfair if you get quickly thrown. Another Call of Duty thing they've implemented. But I'm excited to see some new weapons, but hopefully they don't damage the game too much like previous weapons they've tried to add. Or be completely useless, like the 1 shot and things like that they added as well in Gears 3. But all in all, hopefully it's going to be good. Still hyped about it. Hope you enjoyed. Leave your comments in the comment section. I've overrun a little bit, so a bit of black screen at the end. But as always, thank you very much and good night.